Good morning everyone. In today's session we are going to study about body language. In unit 4, in this session 1, the important part of non-verbal communication is body language and we are going to study different basic things about body language in this video. So before going to the next slide, let's try and understand what body language is with the help of a video. Let's go to the video. I'm going to pause here and there to explain you the different meanings that this video explains you. Let's go to the video.
Alice works at a local department store. She spends most of her day interacting with customers and coworkers. There's a lot of talking involved, but there's also another form of nonverbal communication that's being used just as often. Body language.
So here you can clearly understand what body language is. So body language is something you make somebody else understand without the help of words. Without using of these words, you may mean something to others, and that is what is explained by body language.
Body language is the process of communicating through nonverbal signals.
So body language is communicating with others using nonverbal signals. In our video, we are going to explain. I am going to explain you the different signals with which we are going to create meanings. The body language is going to create meanings, and we are going to study about it a little later.
It includes things like our posture, facial expressions, gestures, and more. The meanings of these all vary from culture to culture, but we instinctively read body language and interpret it as some expression of moods, feelings, or intentions. So, in Alice's case, even before she speaks, she may be communicating all kinds of things to customers.
See, in this case about Alice, you can understand that she may mean something to her customers even though she is not speaking anything particularly. It can be her body posture, it can be her facial expressions, it can be her gestures, etc.
For example, if her arms are crossed and she's avoiding eye contact, customers may not find her to be very approachable. However, Alice could be in a friendly mood, even though her body language suggests otherwise. And this isn't necessarily a conscious choice that she's made. This could just be how she habitually presents herself.
See, this habitual, the word habitual becomes very important for us in this class, because what we are going to deal with here in this session is that we are not only studying what body language is and what are the different types of body language, etc. But by understanding these things, we need to understand how positive body language habits can make us a good communicator. A successful communication can only be possible by inculcating those positive habits, by making those positive body language habits habitual.
But if Alice is aware of these habits, she can work on improving her body language.
Only by understanding the real meaning of different body language, then only we can improve ourselves. We can improve ourselves and make communication better.
Changing your habits can be difficult, but if you take time to pause and check in with yourself, you can start to notice them and adjust things to become a better nonverbal communicator.
Yeah, after my explanation in this class, I am sure you would change some of your body language habits towards the positive body language habits. You make it habitual so that there can be some transformation among you, so to make communication happening better, so that your communication becomes more effective.
This awareness can also be applied to reading others' body language. Let's say Alice notices that her coworker is...
See, we are very good at finding faults with others. So by with the completion of the explanation of the further slides, after those slides are over, you will be a master of finding faults with others' body language. But that's not our intention. Our intention is to better our body language habits so that we can become a good communicator. Effective communication can only be possible by inculcating those positive body language habits.
He's unusually quiet, has his body turned away from her, and is slouched over. She may pick up that he's upset, or that there's an unspoken issue at hand. Depending on Alice's relationship with him, she may want to give him some space, or ask if anything's wrong.
Space is another important factor in body language. We are going to study about it a little later.
Being aware of the various aspects of body language can make all the difference in how people perceive you and how you perceive them. Be aware of how you present yourself, and you can say a lot without speaking.
So this is a short video. So with the help of this video, I think you probably have generated a general idea about body language. So if we go further in our explanation, let me keep myself here. So what is body language? In Kannada, ದೇಹ ಭಾಷೆ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಹ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೇನೆ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಅರ್ಥಗಳನ್ನು ಬೇರೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಅವರ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಪೋಸ್ಚರ್, ಅವರ್ ಫೇಶಿಯಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಮೀನ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಅದರ್ಸ್. ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೇನೆ, ನೋಯಿಂಗ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ ಅನ್ನೋಯಿಂಗ್ಲಿ, ವಿ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್. ಅವರಿಗೇನೋ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋ ಹಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಹ ಭಾಷೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. So that's what is called as body language. In this picture, you can see different facial expressions in the picture. In this picture, you can understand different facial expressions, different gestures, etc. So it means a lot. The sitting positions, different sitting positions also may mean something in body language. So what exactly is the course outcome? In this session, we are going to understand the importance of body language and its impact. Use the strategies for effective body language. As I have told you earlier, not only understanding what is body language is important to us, on the other hand, we also need to inculcate some of the strategies for positive body language habits. What your body is telling you. So the body language can speak through gestures, poses, movements, expressions that a person uses to communicate. So here in this picture, you can find 12 different kinds of facial expressions given by the person. You need to understand that only the 7% of verbal communication becomes successful by the use of words, whereas our tone, intonation, rise and fall of the voice can be successful for only about 38%, whereas 55% of the body language habits can communicate successfully with others. So that's why to understand what body language is very important. Body language can be understood through three of these difficult words. I will make it easier for you. Kinesics means the body movements. ನಾವು ದೇಹದ ಅಂಗಾಂಗಗಳ ಏನು ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕೈನೆಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಓಡಾಟ, ಚಲನವಲನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಅಂಗಾಂಗಗಳ ಚಲನವಲನನ ನಾವು ಕೈನೆಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಕೈನೆಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್. To make communication successful, we have to make some movement of our body. But don't get me wrong, too much of movement will not make your communication successful. ಈಗ ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಂತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಟೂ ಮಚ್, ನೀವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಓಡಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓಡಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ ಹೊರತು ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಟ್ರೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಅದು ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆನ್ ಇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಟೂ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೈವರ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. Proxemics is very important because proxemics is the study of space. Space andre, I will give you an example. To explain what is space. If a very good friend of you, a close friend of you, sits very close to you with a very little space, he or she sits very near to you. It may not make you uncomfortable. Whereas a person who is very unknown to you, if he or she sits very near to you, you may not feel as comfortable. So this is what is the meaning of proxemics or space. Space is also very important. If an unknown person comes very near to you to explain something to you, you may not feel very comfortable, and you may not listen to the unknown person as well. ಅವರ ಮಾತುಗಳಿಗಿಂತ ನೀವು ಅವ್ರು ತುಂಬ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಬಂದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ನೀವು ಏನು ತುಂಬ ಹುಷಾರಾಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಜಾಗ್ರತೆ ವಹಿಸ್ತೀರಾ. ಆದರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್, that's why to maintain a certain distance is very important. So that is what is explained by proxemics. Haptics is the study of touch. So if you touch your friend, that may not be a very bad thing for him. Yeah, you understand what touch means. There is good touch, there is bad touch. A person who is a stranger, if he touches you, if he gives a shake hand, that's admissible. But other touches are normally avoided unless the person is very close to us. That is explained by haptics. So there are 5 types of body language: eye contact, facial expressions, postures and stance, gestures, space relationships. In the next few slides we are going to talk about these 5 different types of body languages. Here there are 2 funny pictures that explains the different facial expressions. These 3 monkeys may mean different to you if you are a Gandhi follower, but here in body language, so yeah, it may mean differently. What is the purpose of eye contact? So when you are talking to somebody, it is very important to have a steady eye contact. So it also means that you have interest in talking to them. ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅದು ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಯು ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಐ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ವೈಟಿಂಗ್, ಇಟ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ಸ್ ದ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್. But too much of eye contact is also not good in communication. In this picture you can understand by looking at this lady, and this kind of too much of an eye contact is not good in communication because it may mean dominance or lack of respect. It may mean a threat. It may also mean somebody else's wish to insult you. Too much of eye contact is not good. In the same way, too little eye contact is also not good for communication. It may mean that you are not paying attention, you are impolite, insincere. Withdrawing eyes. If you are withdrawing your eyes from somebody's discussion, may mean that you lack interest in their in talking to them. ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅದು ಸೂಚಿಸ್ಬೋದು. What's the importance of facial expression? Facial expression can mean happiness, sadness, displeasure, anger, fear, and interest. So these are all different meanings that is generated through facial expressions. So facial expressions also becomes a very important part of body language because it can also generate meanings. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಖಭಾವದಿಂದಲೂ ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥವನ್ನು ಹೊರಹೊಮ್ಮಿಸಬಹುದು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಖಭಾವದಿಂದಲೇ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪಾಠ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ತಂದಿದ್ದೀರೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ, ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ತಂದಿದ್ದೀರೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ನೀವು ಪಾಠ ಕೇಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ಬೈ facial expressions. And gestures are also very important. It's also a very important part of body language. Shoulder shrug, for example, ಭುಜ ಹೀಗೀಗೆ ಆಡಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂಥೇಳಿ ಅರ್ಥ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಪಫ್ಡ್ ಚೆಸ್ಟ್, ಎದೆ ಉಬ್ಬಿಸಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಒಬ್ಬರ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯ ಸಂಗತಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಏನೋ ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಿರ್ಬೋದು. In the same way, these are all different meanings that can be generated through our gestures. Finger crossing may mean protection. Avoiding eye contact may mean that you are lying. If you are tapping your nose, that may mean that you want to speak to the other person and ask him to mind his own business, her own business. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಏನೋ if you are tapping your nose, you know this is best luck. Rubbing the palm together may mean positive expectation. If you are doing this, rubbing your thumb and finger, it may mean expecting money. Hands clenched together may mean confident. So these are all different meanings that is generated through gestures. So where you are keeping your hands, if you keep your hands inside your pocket, it may mean aggression. If you are keeping your hands on your hips, it may mean that you are aggressive, or it may also mean that you are posing with your achiever stance. Stroking your chin may mean that you are trying to make a decision. If you are guarding your mouth, it may mean that you are suppressing or you are lying to somebody. So you may unknowingly close your mouth while lying. So if a person is standing in a sagging position, it may mean that somebody is suffering from depression. ಕೈ ಹೀಗೆ ಮಡ್ಚ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ it may mean that you are unsympathetic. Arms held loose may mean positive attitude. ಬೆನ್ನು ನೇರವಾಗಿದ್ರೆ it may mean that you are confident. ನೀವು ತಲೆ ಬಗ್ಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ it may mean that you are ashamed of something, or it may also mean lower status. Self wrapping may mean withdrawal. ನೀವು ಬೆನ್ನನ್ನು ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎದೆಯನ್ನು ಸೆಟೆದು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಿದ್ರೆ it may mean enthusiasm and friendliness. So I think I have told you earlier about kinesics, proxemics and haptics. So too much of body movement is not very good in communication, but you need to have a little bit of body movement to make the conversation very effective one, an interesting one. Space is very important because you need to keep a certain distance from the listener. Unnecessary touch is not at all advisable. You need to touch others only when it's required. For example, when you are handshaking, when you are shaking somebody else's hand, you need to understand what it means. For example, stiff handshake may mean equality. Dead fish handshake, as if you don't have any life left in your hand, may mean weak character. Aggressive handshake may mean that you are aggressive. Palm down may mean dominance. Palm down, that means if you expect somebody else to shake your hand but you are giving your hand like this, then that may mean you are dominant. Whereas giving somebody else a handshake by posing your hand like this may mean that you are submissive. Knuckle grinder, if you put too much pressure on somebody else's palm, may mean that you are aggressive. If you don't want to touch the full palm of the opposite person, but only want to touch the tip of those fingers, that may mean that you want to keep distance. Pulling somebody else's arm may mean insecurity. So even after understanding the different types of body language, if you don't make habitual positive body language habits, understanding this body language session is not going to be very effective. ನೀವು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಸನ್ನು ನೀವು ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಮೈಗೂಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನೀವು ಬಾಡಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಈ ಪಾಠ ಕೇಳಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಸಾರ್ಥಕತೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಯುವರ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಸ್. You have to inculcate those positive body language habits in you. So in the previous slides we have understood that we need to have eye contact while communicating with others. Facial expressions are very important. You need to have a little bit of head movements but not too much of it. Gestures, postures and proximity is very important. You need to make some hand movements, but don't make too much of hand movements that will distract the audience about your hand movements and they will not pay much attention towards what you are speaking. Postures, your body posture explains a lot about you and what you are trying to speak. Body contact, touch the other person only whenever necessary. Appearance, you need to appropriately dressed to the situation. For example, you cannot go to the gym in 3-piece suit, whereas you cannot go to an office meeting in the gym attire as well. So having a good physique is also advisable. Timing is very important because you need to understand that listening is also an important part of communication. People don't listen, they always speak. So you need to give time to the other person to speak and you have to listen carefully. Only then you should start speaking. This makes communication very successful one, effective one, and the other person will be very much proud of you because you are listening to them and it will be reciprocated. So thank you everyone for listening to this video very patiently. I think I have made myself clear. I will be explaining you about some more points on body language in Unit 4 Session 4. Kindly watch that video as well. I have provided study materials. Please go through the study materials and attend the multiple choice questions as well. ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಭಾಷೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಈ ತರಗತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಂಚಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಖಭಾವ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆಯವರ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತನಾಡುವಾಗ ಅಂತರವನ್ನು ಕಾಯ್ದುಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಂವಹನದಲ್ಲಿ, ಯಶಸ್ವಿ ಸಂವಹನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯ ಪಾತ್ರ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಂತರ ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಖಭಾವದಿಂದ, ಫೇಶಿಯಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ನಿಂದ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಉತ್ತಮ ಸಂವಹನಕಾರರಾಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ದೇಹ ಭಾಷೆಗಳು ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಹೆಗ್ಲನ್ನು ಹೀಗಾಡಿಸಿದರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ, ಈ ಥರದ ಹಲವಾರು ಪ್ರಕರಣಗಳನ್ನು ತಮಗೆ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಸಹಿತ ವಿವರಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ವಿತ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಇನ್ಕಲ್ಕೇಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಸ್, ಈ ಸೆಷನ್ನು ತುಂಬ ತಮಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ರೀತಿ ತಾವು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇವೆರಡನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ತಾವು ಉತ್ತಮ ಸಂವಹನಕಾರರಾಗಬಹುದು. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಎ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ communicator, you can communicate well, you can communicate ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇವಿಷ್ಟು ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಸೆಷನನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ತಮಗೆ ಬಾಡಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಬಗೆಗಿನ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ವಿವರವಾದ ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ನಾನು ಸೆಷನ್ 4ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಲಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಆ ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ಸಹ ನೋಡಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ದೀಪಕ್ ಡೋಂಗ್ರೆ ಸೈನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಾಚಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ನೈಸ್ ಡೇ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.